Assalamu alaikum guys, welcome back to my channel. This is gonna be the first video, but welcome guys. Assalamu alaikum. Did I already say that? But you guys probably clicked on this video because you guys were interested in learning how to memorize the Quran. So of course I'm just gonna preface by saying there's so many ways, and I'm probably sure that's why you clicked on this, because you've heard countless of videos and ways and tips on how to memorize the Quran, but I'm just gonna show you guys what works for me, and hopefully inshallah you guys gain something from here. So let's start. Okay guys, so the first thing that you guys always want to do is, I'm going to just use an example portion. This is actually the hifdh portion that I learned this morning, so if you guys want to follow along, it's Surah An'am, page 141. Okay, so the first thing you guys want to do is, of course, read your portion. Just read it, okay? So أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ولو شاء الله ما أشركوا وما جعلناك عليهم حفيظا وما أنت عليهم بوكيل ولا تسبوا الذين يدعون من دون الله فيسبوا الله عدوا بغير علم كذلك زينا لكل أمة عملهم ثم إلى ربهم مرجعهم فينبئهم بما كانوا يعملون وأقسموا بالله جهد أيمانهم لئن جاءتهم آية ليؤمنن بها قل إنما الآيات عند الله وما يشعركم أنها إذا جاءت لا يؤمنون ونقلب أفئدتهم وأبصارهم كما لم يؤمنوا به أول مرة ونذرهم في طغيانهم يعمهون. It's super important, guys, to read it because you kind of get familiarized with it. If you try to memorize, just start to memorize and then memorize this first ayah, but you literally have no clue what these ayahs even look like, it's going to be super hard. So really try to just first read it, and that's number one. Okay guys, and then for number two, it's always going to be our reciter. Honestly, I know people they recommend slow reciters, but for me, Mahar al-Mu'alqi works. For him, his tajweed is on point, and I don't know, I usually listen to him in the car or anything, and I think it's really important to keep a consistent reciter. That way you can actually memorize more consistently, if that makes sense. Because if you keep listening to different reciters, they sound all different, so it's really hard for us to stick, you know what I mean? So that's number two, okay? Just to read with looking, while they're reading it, you kind of read with them, or if you want to just listen. The whole point of that is just to familiarize with yourself, and of course to make sure your tajweed is on point. Okay, the third thing is actually finally memorizing it. Actually, the third thing for me is translation. So I like to read the translation from Quran apps. These are the ones I recommend. And then once you read them, I honestly, subhanAllah guys, it's super important. I'm probably gonna make a video about that, of tafsir, because I don't even know how people memorize when you don't even know what it's saying. You're just memorizing Arabic words, especially if you're not an Arabic native speaker. I can only imagine how hard that is. But that is number three, is learning the translation, reading over it, so you know what each word means and what ayah means, what each ayah means. There we go. The fourth thing is finally memorizing it. So let's say أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. But I want to preface that my tajweed, I know it's not on point. It could be better, but alhamdulillah, I think I could do this. Okay, so this is how I usually do it, guys. So with memorizing, you don't want to memorize more than one line at a time. For example, even this ayah, it's only you can't say it's not even a full 2 lines, right? It's just 1.5. But it's much easier if you break it down. So I would like to probably, like this morning, I literally memorized just this verse. So I said وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ مَا أَشْرَكُوا 3 times with looking. وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ مَا أَشْرَكُوا وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ مَا أَشْرَكُوا وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ مَا أَشْرَكُوا. And then you do it 3 times without looking. Okay guys, you do it 3 times without looking, and then after you do those 3 times without looking, then you're going to add your new portion. And then this morning I actually added this together, and subhanAllah, this is why the translation is so important, because the meaning of this, it goes together, so it's much easier for me just to read it all at once or memorize it all at once. So then you say وَمَا جَعَلْنَاكَ عَلَيْهِمْ حَفِيظًا وَمَا أَنْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ بِوَكِيلٍ. Okay, you say 3 times with looking, 3 times without looking. At this point, I hope you guys get it. Then after you do those 3 times without looking for this one, you're going to add it together. You're going to add it together. So then you're going to read it 1 time with looking, 1 time without looking. Does that make sense, guys? Does that make sense? So you guys read this 1 time with looking. وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ مَا أَشْرَكُوا وَمَا جَعَلْنَاكَ عَلَيْهِمْ حَفِيظًا وَمَا أَنْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ بِوَكِيلٍ. There. And then you read it 1 time without looking. وَلَوْ شَاءَ اللَّهُ مَا أَشْرَكُوا وَمَا جَعَلْنَاكَ عَلَيْهِمْ حَفِيظًا وَمَا أَنْتَ عَلَيْهِمْ بِوَكِيلٍ. Beautiful. Now you keep memorizing. You start from the next ayah. You choose how much you want to read too. So for this ayah, you could do وَلَا تَسُبُّوا الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ. Okay, you guys see that I never do more than this. Is together is like 1 line. I never do more than that, because then after you're doing way too much, and it's gonna be much harder to retain. Okay, وَلَا تَسُبُّوا الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ 3 times. وَلَا تَسُبُّوا الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ وَلَا تَسُبُّوا الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ 3 times without looking. Then you continue. فَيَسُبُّوا اللَّهَ عَدْوًا بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ 3 times with looking, without looking. Then you're gonna add these 2 together, just 1 time with looking, 1 time with looking, and then 1 time without looking, and then you just continue. And after you get to here, you're going to read this, your 2 new ayahs, 1 time without looking, 1 time with looking, and then you just continue. I hope, guys, that made sense. I'm really hoping that made sense, guys. So we're going to move on to the 5th and final thing that's super important. It's definitely last but not least, and it is, so after you guys read this 1 time with looking and 1 time without looking, then you're going to read this portion. Just first start from here, maybe first revise this portion and kind of see how well you remember it. Then once you got this solid, you could just continue on and read this, because hopefully by now you should have had this memorized, locked in, right? And with timing, guys, for me, a half page takes about 30 minutes. But don't feel like you have to do that, because there are days that I literally just spend an hour learning this and tying it back to this. So do not feel bad at all, guys. 30 minutes to 1 hour. Of course, you want to kind of be like timely, because there are like certain goals that of course everybody has that they want to achieve, and you have to be realistic with how many minutes, or not minutes, but how much time you could put in every single day. So you want to make sure you're kind of getting to that goal within that hour or whatever you put as your daily goal, right? But yes, guys, I hope this really helped. I mean, subhanAllah, with memorizing, I feel like I should do another video about revising, because I feel like memorizing, it's like a bit easier. As you guys can see, it was very straightforward. Revising for me is literally the hardest part, and I think that's what's like the most hardest part with Quran hifdh. You literally have to memorize it, so you have to keep on coming back to it. But this is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Assalamu alaikum.